Welcome to the YouTube channel. My name is Joseph Ranke. I am the host of this channel here for FitBucks. And today we're going to be talking about financial planning for those of you that are in your 20s. Okay. It's very similar to other people, but there's a lot of nuances for you. I'm going to break this down real simply so that way you don't have to go out and pay a financial planner like $3,000 just to build a plan and $1,800 a year to track the plan. I don't know very many 20-year-olds that can afford that. So I'm going to show you and I'm going to walk you guys through what you need to know about financial planning in your 20s so that way you don't have to pay that stuff. Okay, and then I'm also share with you an easy way to do all this stuff that we're talking about. Before I dive into it, as always, if you are not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button to this, leave some comments, hit the notification bell, and share it with your friends. We ask you guys to do that, one, because it helps our channel grow, but two, it also helps you get notified when new videos come out to help educate yourself. But also, like if you're sharing this with your friends, they probably have questions too. Like if you have questions. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. So please subscribe to the channel. All right. In your 20s, if you're watching this and you're thinking about financial planning in your 20s, in the comments section below, write like where you're at. Are you a beginner? Do you have some experience? Are you completely lost on all this type of stuff? Because let's just face it, most of us get none of this education whatsoever in school. Our parents most of the time don't have a clue what they're doing either. So in the comment section, if you take a second, just let me know where you guys are at. Okay. I'm going to talk about this from a high level because this is the most important thing that you could take away. Okay. I'm going to address a fallacy in the market first. First of all, a lot of people will say invest early because you want to take advantage of compounding interest. Okay. Well, there's a couple things to that. First of all, what happens if I have no money to invest because inflation just destroyed me the last year and I don't even have money to invest? How do I even get there? Right? That's what a lot of these people that are older, they're like, oh, invest because of compounding. I wish I would have started investing earlier. It's like, well, that's nice, but I don't have any money. Like, how do I get there to have money to invest? So that's the first thing that in your 20s we need to address. Okay. The second thing is actually the same thing that most people run into. Okay. Compounding by itself is not enough. Okay. I'll give this example oftentimes. Like if you start investing $100 a month and you just invested that for 40 years on a normalized return for a diversified portfolio of investments, which is about 5 to 6% returns. That's the real return that you would probably get. Okay. That $100 investment would be about $350,000 40 years from now. That's not going to be anywhere near enough to retire or anything like that. Okay. So just this saying about compounding is enough. It's not. Okay. So what is? All right. When you go to set up your financial plan, we want you at FitBucks, and this is the way our technology is set up and everything, is to bucket your money into 3 categories. The first one is day-to-day money, which is like income and expenses. The second one is money for future self. That's like investments, savings for short-term goals, and debt. And the third one is risk management. So things like life insurance, health insurance, that type of stuff. Okay. You just organize your money in those 3 buckets. That's how you budget your money. And those 3 categories are essential for what I'm going to be telling you next. Okay. Your goal over time is to take money from day-to-day expenses and put more and more of it over into money for future self. Okay. So like right now, you might have like 80, 90% of your money going to day-to-day expenses and only like 10% going to money for future self. You want to try to switch those percentages over time. Okay. That's like your only goal. I don't care if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. Okay. But from a high level, as a 20-year-old or somebody in your 20s, you should be saying, what should I do? Why is that so important? It's because people have lifestyle creep. So you're in a prime time where your income should be increasing pretty significantly. So it might go up like 5 to 10% per year, and then it's going to plateau at like 2% per year. So as you're getting those increases, you can't let lifestyle creep come in where all of a sudden you're keeping these percentages the same. You need to be saying, hey, I got an income increase. Can I increase the percentage of my income going to money for future self? That's one of the biggest keys that you can do. Okay, now this is where it gets really unique with you being, trying to build a financial plan in your 20s. Okay, is you might not have any money there. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the podcast, right? There might not be any money for future self, or very little, because cost of living is massive. And I'll give you an example. So in 2020, the average in the United States for money going towards money for future self into the savings component of that was about 25% of people's income. That was the average of what people had going to that or debt or whatever it was. Okay. That number is down to like 3 or 4%. That's brutal. Inflation has completely wiped out people's savings. Okay. Completely. COVID wiped it. It's a mess, right? And somebody in your 20s, especially if you're just coming out of like college or something like that, you might not be making that much money. You might not have any money for future self. You might just be able to get like your 401k match or something like that. And that's it. Okay. So what do you have to focus on in your financial plan? You have to figure out a way to get more money into money for future self. And there's two ways of doing that. One is to increase your income. The other one is to cut expenses. I'll touch real quickly on that. And you might be saying, well, I just graduated from college. I don't want to worry about like, what do I need to do to increase my income? That's the first part, because remember, day-to-day money is income and day-to-day expenses. So if you increase income, obviously you're going to have more money to go to money for future self. It could be side hustles. It could be going back to school to get a graduate degree. It could be doing whatever, driving Ubers, whatever it is. Think about, tell yourself, what skills can I develop that I can make more money from? Okay, so that's number one. Number two is what most people immediately do when they build a financial plan. They say, I'm going to do this, okay? And that's cut expenses, okay? And if you listen to some of these other people on the internet, I won't name any names, but they'll be like, be frugal, cut everything. And then they'll put up some people as testimonials like, I did this method of this guy on the internet, and now I'm blah, blah, blah. Well, what they're not telling you is that person is probably already frugal. Okay, they're already cutting expenses. They're probably already used to it. The reality is that most people, especially in their 20s, they go to start a financial plan and they look at their day-to-day expenses. And these people are saying, cut all your expenses. Stop going out to eat. Stop going to Starbucks. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. Cut your streaming services. Blah, 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 blah. It's like a completely different lifestyle. Like you're changing your lifestyle overnight. If you try to do that, the probability of you being successful is very, very small. Very small. Because it's very hard to change your entire lifestyle overnight. So in your 20s, if you're building out a financial plan, you can project it going out in the future. But if you don't have any money now going to money for future self, what you need to do is focus on cutting one expense at a time. What can you trim down? One expense at a time. And do that for about 40 days. Trim that one expense, it becomes habit at that point, then go on to the next one. And the next thing that you know, you will then turn around and start having more and more money in your savings that you now put towards money for future self, and that number will keep going up as a percentage of your income. And if you're trying to just focus on that one thing of cutting that one expense, then like I said, the other way is to increase your income. So that frees up some time where you're not stressed out about, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Whatever. It's like you spend that time learning something new, okay? And so that is, in my opinion, like when it's like the best advice you can give for somebody in their 20s when it comes to financial planning is number one, break up your money into those three categories: day-to-day money, money for future self, risk management. And try to get, over time, more and more money going to money for future self as a percentage of your income. The faster you can increase that, the faster you will have tangible financial freedom, meaning dollars and cents. If you don't have any money going there now, focus on cutting one expense at a time, and that's how you want to go about that. Now, if you want to do all this stuff very easily, like I said, this is our FitBucks channel. Our technology is a financial planning technology built specifically for you, young professionals. It will allow you to do this and build an entire financial plan right on FitBucks, project it all, look up different alternatives, and then you can actually track it, like while you're cutting one expense or moving money from one to another. You can track your entire financial plan and it doesn't cost like $3,000 to do. It doesn't cost $1,800 a year to do. It's $18.99 right now a month. Okay, $18.99 a month, and you get a designated FitBucks coach. If you have questions, you can call us anytime you want to and help you set up your plan or whatever it may be. So be sure to become a member at FitBucks, fitbucks.com. We look forward to helping you guys. We'll talk to you soon.